Hello, I'm Vriko. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Reef. I'm also a PhD candidate at the University of Hong Kong at the School of Biological Sciences. I was born and raised in Hong Kong in the 90s, which is very interesting, especially being in Hong Kong, because I've seen development on one side while seeing how we can develop the city while preserving the nature on the other side. So that experience of childhood, spending a lot of time in the nature, really shows me the possibility of how do we have the sustainable development in an urbanized city without really compromising the loss of natural capitals. My epiphany moments actually started in 2014 when I witnessed a small patch of community, coral community, disappear in just 2 months. And with that experience and the first-hand experience of witnessing climate change kind of underpinned my reason why I'm dedicated to restoring degraded marine ecosystems, focusing on coral reefs. And since then, I've been working very closely with my supervisor, Dr. David Baker, at the University of Hong Kong, and that's also where I started my PhD research. With that experience, I've given a lot of opportunities and freedom to decide what's actually impactful with a strong, solid foundation and research that's developed within this university. One of the major challenges outside of climate change is actually the degradation of the environment, where the degraded marine ecosystem actually lack a suitable substrate. So our idea and the solution is extremely simple. It's just to recreate a suitable substrate where corals and other marine life can also thrive in. So the idea is to create these earth-friendly clay-based 3D printed clay tiles, the reef tiles that we call. These reef tiles is actually just a tool for you to renovate the degraded seafloor into something that's more hospitable and suitable for corals to recover. The idea of using 3D printing is not just about the technology. It's really about the capacity that we can create a structurally intricate structure that is not only making this substrate adaptive to corals, but really creating these micro crevices and micro habitats for the marine life, just the other biodiversity like the fish and the crabs and the tiny shrimp and even snails. So the idea of coral restoration is actually not limited to coral reefs, but really with the entire associated biodiversity. So when we first deployed the 3D printed reef tiles with the support of the Hong Kong government in 2019, that was actually the first time that we realized to actually test the product on site. And I remember going back to the site 3 months later to check whether the tiles still exist or if there's any impact that can be generated within such a short period of time. What's really encouraging is not only that the corals that we planned on are surviving, so even until today, after 3 years, we're securing 95% survivorship, which is at least 4 times higher than the traditional methods. When it comes to the impact, it's not really just about the coral, it's also about the marine life, as we previously mentioned. Going back to the site, looking into the crevices where you can see the snails and fish that's really inhabiting and colonizing the area, that part is really something that would keep our team going, but also really it's about the tangible and measurable impact that we are generating, especially when it comes to bringing back biodiversity. As a nature tech startup, we actually operate in a B2B or B2G model where we encourage our corporate partners and clients to deploy these reef tiles in the water on the scale of deployment. And also we work with our client with a minimum of 3 years to witness the impact with us. So within the 3 years subscription, we offer maintenance support, but also about the quantification of their impact in terms of biodiversity. Whereas in Hong Kong, our first client is actually the Sino Group and Ocean Park, where we have this holistic approach to not only tangibly, directly contributing to building a coral reef in the water, but also bringing the impact to the surface where our client will be able to deliver the message to their guest, for example. So at the Fullerton Hotel, when you go there next time, you can actually see the mini coaster, the mini reef tiles in your hotel room, which remind us how close we are with the ocean and how with what's happening under the sea, even though we don't necessarily see it directly. I'm sure you've heard about the ESG trend lately, and it is not just something that's happening in Hong Kong. It is actually a global trend that big corporations are really under the pressure to disclose their ESG impact. And more specifically, what we can offer to our client is actually their nature-based financial disclosure, where they will have to disclose their operations and the associated impact on nature. Because I think when it comes to the nature, it is not really owned by a single entity, but it is heavily embedded in our daily lives and including the business operations. So when it comes to ESG, I think it's a new metrics in showing not just our corporate clients, but also the individual clients, the consumers, to understand what's the impact that they can have within their value chain in their daily life. So in terms of ESG, what we can offer to our client is a very tangible impact and positive impact that they can contribute back to the environment. A lot of the ESG solutions and strategy are focusing on reducing the carbon emission, which is essential. But what we can offer to the client is actually a really proactive way of bringing positive impact that's directly benefiting the environment. I personally think that is a bit difficult to define success. Because to me, success, everybody have different definition. And to me, I think it's more about the journey, and it's hard to define if a journey is successful or not. But what I find very encouraging and fulfilling is actually the process that we are bringing a research product into a commercialized avenue, during which we have a lot of challenges, but we overcome it and we continuously pivot and make it better and making sure that we are also evolving with the market needs. I think what I find really fulfilling is actually proving it possible. I wouldn't say it's proving someone wrong, that it's unusual, it's unexpected, but I think proving that something like this could be possible and that we are creating a synergy from a public and private sector for a greater cause, and that's for our environment. So yeah, in that sense, I think that's probably the most fulfilling part.